I married Alice and 3 children. But it would be years before I learned the real story of Mr. Pringles. Shortly after his suicide, Nicholson's address was hit by Dr. Sonny Garde, who had diagnosed him with lupus, and by Robert Marshall, his deputy, who was the last person with Nicholson the night of his death.
It was probably to keep me out and see whether I was handling myself and handling the situation, whether I was hysterical. And I'm sure they must have been feeling ever so much better because I had been gracious and hospitable to them so that my husband got right into their hand and made them feel fine.
23 years later, how did you feel about that?
My anger was unbelievable at how I had been duped for this length of time, and the anguish which was unnecessary.
Did you ever enjoy all of that? Those years never told Alice Olson the real story of her husband's death. She would discover it by accident more than 2 decades later. In essence, it was a 22-year-long cover-up. Lyman Kirkpatrick was Inspector General of the CIA at the time of Frank Olson's death. But had not the Olson case occurred within the secret confines of the CIA, would not this case have been a prosecutable case? Perhaps not entirely think, but we definitely prosecutable, and certainly from the point of view of Mr. Olson, why, it should probably have been actionable. Frank Olson's suicide slowed down the CIA's testing of LSD and other drugs, but only momentarily. The CIA was not the only government agency interested in the possibilities LSD and other drugs presented for mind control. We must give way to wage a war if war is necessary. Previously classified, have been released by the Army and obtained by ABC News. They provide valuable insight into Army activities at the time of Lauer's death and where the Army went from there with their own blood testing program. From a previously classified deposition of Dr. James Cattell, who administered the mescaline derivative, on the purpose of the drug testing, to produce symptoms similar to epilepsy and schizophrenia. On how much the patient knew about all this. We didn't delineate all the possibilities of what might happen because then you contaminate your experiment. Cattell then relates that he never even knew what drug he had given Harold Lauer because of the secrecy of the Army experiments. We didn't know whether it was dog piss. This was secret. This was a secret. We weren't in it. We asked Lauer's daughter Elizabeth for her reaction.
What? How can you even react to that? I mean, it's so far from what you'd expect from a human being, never mind a doctor, never mind a... Professional specialist is supposed to care of his people's minds. It's unbelievable.
A suit filed by Elizabeth Barrett against the Army Chemical Corps is now pending in federal court. Other Army experiments continued on mental patients around the country. Work done at the Tulane Medical Center in New Orleans involved several drugs, hallucinogenics, and electrodes implanted in the brain. The chief researcher was Dr. Russell Monroe, now head of the psychiatry department at the University of Maryland. These are various progress reports written by Dr. Monroe and recently obtained by ABC News. From one of the progress reports, a report of a woman who had electrodes implanted in the brain. That seemed like a human. Was then given LSD and other drugs. She became agitated, cried, lapsed into a trance-like state. Felt as if she were about to have a convulsion, experienced waves of darkness and light. Had bizarre sensations in her neck and legs, said somebody was trying to manipulate her body. At this point, Dr. Monroe wrote that the woman was obviously having paranoid ideas. As a layperson, perhaps you can enlighten me. What therapeutic effect would the therapeutic effect would be indirect. Was this patient aware that she was being hypnotized? Yes, I mean, they were told that they would be given some medication, and they specifically LSD. Well, we told them, I don't think that they would have even known what LSD was at the time. They were told that they were going to give, they would be given some medication which might make them feel worse. Dr. Monroe, what do you think the Army Chemical Corps was looking for at this study? They were looking for an incapacitating agent. An agent that would not harm the person permanently, but would incapacitate them temporarily.